He can't be sleeping. He let AJ in. AJ in? I mean, they'll just let anybody. They'll let anybody in if they let AJ in here. Over. Over.
I got a comment from somebody saying that their like 6-year-old kid is going around the house saying "Open, open."
Oh God. It's like C Science earlier today. He was saying in the chat, he's like, my 6-year-old daughter just curb stomped her doll and like didn't provide any actual context for what happened. It's like, okay, sounds good. Sounds like a well-adjusted child. I have a lot of confidence in the upbringing of that kid.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm full screen that, Atheist Jenner.
Of the Autumn Brookman Show. Today we'll be starting with Can a Christian, going into some random reactions, and then talking about giving students overdose kits. So sit back, relax,
Based.
and let's get started.
Oh God, did you see that screenshot? Hold on.
We're gonna frame by frame this. Enhance! Enhance!
Sorry, I'm going frame by frame. If you didn't know, if you're on PC and you have a YouTube video pause, you can go frame. You can advance a frame by pressing the period key.
That's actually pretty awesome. I was not aware of that.
God damn it.
Yeah, me either. Thank you.
Sorry.
There's like 5 seconds.
Charlie Kirk. Here we go. Ivermectin. Ivermectin has been found to be safe and effective. Oh, is she an anti-vaxxer? Anyway, sorry.
For today's first segment, we'll be answering the question, can a Christian use pronouns?
Nope.
Now, I hope it's clear this context, we're talking about somebody coming out and transitioning and saying that they have different pronouns.
They, you just said they.
Wah, wah, liberal alert, wah, wah. All right.
So, for example, if you have a sister and they're now
Bite the curb, put your teeth on the curb.
You to refer to them as a brother and use she, her pronouns. Or if you have a male coworker who's asking you, is she, her, of a sister, and they're now wanting you to refer to them as a brother and use she, her pronouns.
Why is the camera all wavy? That's what I want to know. It's like she's on a ship right now and it's like rocking around. Does she think that's more like dynamic? I want my audience to be motion sick when they watch me. That's just like really intuitive and really engaging for my good Christian content, is to make it look like I'm on Drake's Passage right now.
I want my YouTube channel to look like U-571 submarine movie.
Hey everybody, coming to you 2,000 Leagues Under the Sea about pronouns.
Hey guys, coming to you from the center of the earth.
yeah. You're like Brendan Fraser with those fucking kids. Ugh.
But if you have a sister and she wants to identify as a brother and have you use she, her pronouns. I mean, I imagine you just misspoke, but why keep this intro then?
Now, I hope it's clear this context, we're talking about somebody coming out and transitioning and saying that they have different pronouns. So, for example, if you have a sister and they're now wanting you to refer to them as a brother and use she, her pronouns. Or if you have a male coworker.
This is what she's saying you should do. If you have a sister and she comes out to you that she's trans and wants to be identified now as a brother, that you should use the old female pronouns. That's what she's saying you should do.
You should dead name them and make them feel invalid about their choice.
Yeah, just when they come home, just, they'll they'll see that you put all of their clothing and belongings out on the street and set it on fire.
Who's asking you to say they, them, because now they're non-binary. Like, what are you supposed
And they're 14 people now, so you have to say they, them, because they're multiple people.
to do? Are you supposed to go along with it?
Are you supposed to call them an attack helicopter? I mean, what are you supposed to do?
Using the pronouns that they like? No. A Christian...
Can you beat them with a club longer than 4 inches?
Should not be using preferred pronouns. And there's 2 reasons why.
Do you
So
treat them like a human being? No.
I mean, if
no,
they're
you
your
should not
slave,
treat them as a human being. You should treat them as garbage, because that's what they are.
I mean, if they're your slave and you beat them, but they get up after a day or 2, then you only have to pay a fine. So, like, what's the big deal?
I mean, yeah, their eye fell out of the socket, but you put it back in as long as it doesn't fall out completely.
Words matter.
It is new, sweetie.
So to build up this case, we're going to start with scripture. So I'm going to look at John 1:1. John 1 begins, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Now, if you believe this to be true, I mean, it's very clear that words are powerful. It's literally saying the Word was God. So the Word is actually a name for God himself. And if God would go by the name the Word, then words must be pretty impactful. And we see an example of this at the start of a different book of the Bible. So if we go to Genesis, it begins, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, 'Let there be lights.' And there was lights." And of course, the story of creation continues, but we see that God speaks creation into existence, showing very clearly that words are powerful, that God's using the manifestation of words to literally create into existence the entire universe. So words are meaningful, words are powerful. So if anyone says, they're just words, it's just what people say, it's just how they talk, that is not a Christian point of view. It actually is a point of view that lines up with other philosophies. So I have this book. It's just this big collection of things. It's called Western Literature. And
so she quoted John 1, and she's saying that this is evidence that words matter, but it's not using the meaning of the word because it's capitalized. What it's referring to is Jesus. It's talking about Jesus.
Yeah, they're talking about the logos in this particular instance in the Greek. It's referring to Jesus as a part of the Godhead. It's John attempting to explain what Jesus was doing or what role he played since the beginning of time. It's basically a Trinitarian verse that affirms that, yes, Jesus was indeed there from the beginning. And she's basically trying to go, yeah, see, it uses the word word. Therefore, like, words are important and stuff. It's like...
Yeah, like Microsoft Word?
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, I mean, like, the programming for Microsoft Word, you'll find some things in common with Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel. Therefore, the space shuttle is just made by people. Over. As far as... as far as what she's saying here, it's like, I know a lot simpler of a way to tell you how words have meaning. They make up the foundation of our language, and we use them literally every moment of every day that we're communicating with people. But then again, that's probably the comparison I made because I'm not trying to justify magic in my argument. So I guess it's a slightly different way of framing things, isn't it?
Yeah. So, like, this is just an unrelated Bible verse because this is just, like you talked about, it's just talking about the logos. I mean, John had multiple names for Jesus, and then this is the first one, and then the rest of the gospel is just him trying to prove that Jesus did miracles and shit. And it's like, this has nothing to do with should you use trans people's pronouns. But I would argue that I could take her argument and just use it for the opposite position because, it's like, words matter. That's why you should use people's pronouns because it matters.
Yeah.
What words you use to refer to people.
You just jumped out in front of my argument because I was about to say, you know who those words matter to more than anybody else in the context you're talking about? The person who's asking you to use those words. So which one is more important? the actual words that a human being that you can see, hear, smell, touch, and feel right in front of you is saying, or Magic Man's words? Which one's more important?
I can tell you that this is the exact type of
Magic
person
Man's words.
who would fall over themselves to correct themselves if they misgendered somebody's fucking dog. Like, oh my god, I didn't know it was a she. Sorry. Oh, but my sister? No, fuck that guy.
In a world context. So I was looking through this one day and was actually surprised to find this.
Don't hurt yourself opening that book, sweet.
I found in this particular section.
And was actually surprised to find this quote. This is a quote from Lao Tzu, who was
The desk just cracks from the sheer weight.
I was looking through things it's called Western literature in a world context.
That's the word right there.
I was looking through this one day and was actually surprised to find this quote. This is a quote from Lao Tzu.
Such a pointless thing to even make fun of her for. Like,
it really is.
Yeah.
It's a heavy book. It was still funny though. It was still funny.
Who was an ancient philosopher from the time before Christ. So in one of his works, he says this:
beside her. What are these red
existence
lights?
is beyond the power of words.
Her?
To define, terms may be
That's
used,
Satan's
but
presence?
are none of them
What is
absolute.
this painting behind her?
In the beginning of heaven and earth, there were no words. Words came out of the womb of matter. And what a contrast we see there. I mean, it says the opposite of what the Bible says, right? In the beginning of heaven and earth,
Can you pause?
there were no words.
So, as of yet, in our current scientific understanding, you know, we've discovered the Higgs boson and the positron and the neutron and, you know, the orbit that those neutrons will take around the we haven't found the womb of particles yet, though. We haven't seemed to have been able to find that yet. Maybe it is out there and we just haven't found it yet, but I don't think that we've found that yet.
When we do, you bet we are gonna argument for abortion.
We need to protect the words that are in the womb of that matter. Every single word is sacred.
It's just a word. It's not even a whole sentence yet, and you want to avoid it.
Well, wait, every single word is sacred? Well, now that you brought that up, I actually identify as a... No, shut up! That is not sacred, that is blasphemy!
It's like, you think it's okay. Look, as soon as the letter, it counts as a whole word and a whole sentence. You know, life begins at conjunction.
Life begins at conjunction. You know, I think I saw a documentary about that actually just earlier today about life.
I'm giving myself credit for that one.
You should.
Whereas the biblical narrative is that words were literally used to create the universe, and that in the beginning was the Word. So this idea that words are meaningless or not important or trivial is not a biblical
Who says
worldview.
that?
In the Bible, it's very consistent.
Pause that. Talk about a straw man argument. Who sits there and tries to argue, just, you know, tunnel, airplane, sausage, ostrich, wada bing bang, purple donkey. Like, no, words obviously do have meaning, and you need to put them into a certain level and phrasing of meaning in order for it to have context. No one's out there going, yeah, that sentence Ayden said at the beginning makes perfect sense, because words don't have meaning. What a weird point.
Ayden, I couldn't disagree or hate you any more than I do in this moment. So fuck you, Ayden.
Oh, yeah? Well,
yeah, I like you a lot. You fucking asshole. I hate... God, you're my friend.
CPU 747 Max.
Oh, you would say... You would bring that up.
I would.
You would.
I would, because you know what? I'm not going to say F you because this is Gangster Ghost show, and this is supposed to be a show that we don't have swearing, AJ. You know what? Some of us around here try to respect that, but then some of us also try to spread the homosexual agenda around here.
Oh, well, I'm very, very sorry. You know? I'm so sorry.
Powerful. So a couple more scriptures that emphasize this point are from Proverbs.
Proverbs guy? Proverbs girl? What are these red things next to her? I don't like. Is this the
Well,
touchdown? Is this the end zone? Am I gonna see John Madden?
Gangster Ghost wanted to say something.
Yeah, Gangster Ghost.
Ayden, it's getting late here.
You want to shut it down, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
that's okay.
sorry.
If you want to end the stream, that's perfectly fine. Is it okay
Yeah,
if
no
we hang
problem.
out here after the stream is ended? Is it
You
okay
say-
if we hang out here after the stream is ended?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, yeah, feel free to end the stream right now if you want to, buddy. You go to bed.
Okay, I'm
Don't
sorry
be
about
worried,
that.
man.
That's okay.
I'm gonna take off though, guys.
Okay, you have a good night, Missing Mod.